Hey guys, so Apple is a stock that I've talked about a lot of times before. However, in the recent past, it skyrocketed all the way to around $100 above when I talked about it. So I feel that it's okay to talk about it again and kind of explain the price target that I see for Apple and what I think it can do in about a year or so time. Now, with the stock market recovering so strongly, and with the strong recovery that we actually saw today, Monday the 15th, I can conclusively say that Apple is one of the strongest stocks on the market right now. You can see that they have a market cap of over $1 trillion, which, if you compare to some of the other stocks that also have a market valuation this high, such as Microsoft, they're only worth around $170 right now and only recovered around $2 to $3, even though we saw such a strong recovery today of around 1,000 points on the SPY. Now, what's one thing that you have to look out for with Apple stock is how their phones are going to be performing in the next year or so. Now, a lot of people do know that Apple makes most of its sales off phones and Macs and other type of electronics. However, a lot of people aren't aware about this Apple interest and financing and what this could actually mean for the company as a whole. And essentially, what this shows is that they not only are acting as a seller of technology and electronics, they are also acting as a loan provider. And if you may know that banks actually make more money off of loaning out money than they do holding people's investments. Now, what this shows is that Apple essentially has a lot of ways to make revenue and to make money off their products and off their brand. And another thing that you have to keep in mind is that Apple is the type of company that has been able to create a suite of products and is really capitalizing on the fact that if you already owned an iPhone in the past, you're less likely to switch over to a Samsung, to Hertz, to whatever kind of phone that you may be thinking of switching over to because you already own all these Apple specific accessories. Now, let's say you do own a Samsung phone. What are the odds that you wouldn't switch to the next Samsung S4 or the Google Galaxy phone, etc., etc.? You have a lot less brand loyalty than if you are in an Apple product already and have already experienced this Apple's products. Now, what is the highest price that I think Apple can realistically hit? And I would say that's around the $500 mark. If they do hit the $500 mark, that will be a historic day because they honestly don't offer as many services as people believe. Now, a company like Microsoft is in multiple industries. They're in the phone industry, they're also in the computer industry, the cloud industry, the advertising industry, etc., etc. However, a company such as Apple is in less industries than that and they have less streams of revenue. However, they're able to be valued higher and more highly in the future and in the past as well. Now, one of the main things moving Apple's stock is the fact that they have a dividend as well and that they're having very strong earnings. You can see here that even during this time of economic downturn, they have been able to hit above their earnings estimate. And that's one of the things that honestly keeps pushing them up higher and higher, and we have to keep seeing whether or not they're going to be able to continue hitting above estimates here into the future and whether or not they're going to be able to continue pushing up their revenue because their dividend is nothing special. It's just around one, so that's not really anything to write home about. However, that is still much better than zero, which a lot of these stocks have as a dividend. Now, a lot of the reason as well that people are really looking at Apple is this 3 month graph here. This is incredible growth, over $100 in the last 3 months. And what this shows is that people are very bullish on Apple's recovery and on Apple's value. You can see that if we look at the 1 year graph, they are already before their pre-downturn price here of around $330. And not only are they above it, they're much above it. They're around, once they hit this high around June 10th, which was when the SPY hit $320 and we officially entered the bull market again, Apple was costing around $350, which is a $20 valuation higher than what they were around 3 months earlier. So this is an incredible price movement. You can see their graph looks like an absolute bull run and is honestly trading even better than the SPY. And even though the SPY is worth around $300 as well, Apple is a good stock to watch to compare the price movements of the SPY. And every day that the SPY goes up a little, Apple goes up a lot. So they are magnifying the moves of the SPY. And that is another reason why a lot of people like watching this stock and to see what's going to happen with the market as a whole. Even though there are other stocks in the S&P, this is one of the main ones to watch to notice the strength of the US economy and the strength of people's trust in the market at the current moment. So yeah, that's why I really recommend Apple as a buy, even at these high price ranges. I'm telling you guys, this stock has a high future ahead of it. And so far, it's shown no signs of a pullback. With a lot of penny stocks and a lot of these lower value stocks, every time a stock pulls up, it pulls back quickly. However, you can see that a lot of these Apple moves always recover very fast. So this could be said that it is a pullback, like people selling out immediately. However, with a stock costing so much, a lot of people are more likely to hold it for a long time. So what these things are, what these jumps are, is essentially people reacting to the market as a whole and not really to Apple specifically as a company. So yeah, that's why I really recommend Apple as a buy. I think that they are going to be worth around $500 in around a year or two's time, and I wouldn't delay. You can see that they're up around $150 or $100 in the last 3 months, $150 in the last year. So that's why I think they're a really strong buy, and I feel that a lot of investors are bullish on them, and they really have no room to stop growing in the near future. So yeah, keep an eye out for this company because it's going to be one of the bangers here coming into next year and coming into 2021 with the market recovery. And yeah, guys, not a lot of stocks are very strong right now, so these strong ones, you got to keep an eye on them. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe the video, and thanks for watching.